Hello, I just shot the video for the time signatures and I just want to kind of give a little preview of what we're going to do today before we get into the video. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to think about playing different types of time signatures. Common time, known as 4/4, waltzes, 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, I even do an 11/4. But the idea is I want to show you how you can kind of take the mental stress out of counting and feeling and use some cool techniques to kind of keep track of these odd rhythms while you play them. And so we'll be discovering that in this video. I talk a little bit about the right hand motion. I talk about how to kind of subdivide your counts on your left hand, and so that you can start to feel how to play odd times, maybe write a song in odd times or listen to a song and be able to count it out. But I hope you enjoy this. I just want to preface the fact that we are going to learn some cool or one or two cool ideas how to think about different time signatures. With that being said, on to what I just recorded. Alright, welcome back to another episode of StichMethod. Today's episode we're going to be talking about time signatures, specifically 4/4 time and odd time signatures, so that you can learn how to practice them and feel them a little bit better, get them under your fingertips so that you can identify them and of course write some songs with them. Before we get there, make sure you do click that subscribe button and share this with anyone who you think will enjoy it. And with that being said, let's get down to it. All right, time signatures. I really, when teaching rhythm, don't like mentioning the word time signature or 4/4 or 3/4. It just sounds very, really daunting and cumbersome. But I'm going to address these numbers and hopefully you can practice them with a little bit of different perspective to help get them under your fingertips. All right. So there's something in music that we're going to study first, and that's known as common time. And you've probably already all heard this and went, ugh, yeah, common time. But let me show you how to practice it. Common time is referred to as 4/4 time, okay? And what that is just 4 beats per bar. And a bar is just a repeatable measure or count of measures. So if my count is 4/4, it means I'm counting in groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I have a video maybe a couple weeks back that discusses rhythm, and I'll link it in the description below. And when you have this 4/4 time, you can divide these things into subdivisions. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, you can divide it into eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And so, here is a count of 4 beats per measure. Check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the reason I bring this up is not just you want to count this of 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to feel that. To me, that sounds like the beginning intro of a sad song, right? If I had lyrics, you're counting in 4, but I'm trying to show you what the quarter notes do. A quarter note being 1 beat. 1, 2. Quarter notes. This is, bittersweet sounding. And so when I am thinking about writing a song and I want to put a rhythm to it, if it has a sad intro, and if it warrants it, the quarter note strum in the beginning usually is a way to start the song off before the drums come in. Another way to subdivide this, now we're going to get into some odd times very soon, but a way to subdivide 2/4 is now with the eighth note, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the idea is that's just the up strum of where you were. When I was doing chord notes, okay, that right hand has to come up to reset. And so all you're doing is taking advantage of the up strum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? Now, when I play songs that have straight eighth notes, I do think of of country. I do think of country, That was plenty of country songs that don't have, an eighth note feel. But when I am playing, and I'm just playing G, C's, and D's right now, but when I'm playing something with eighth notes, I'm thinking of Americana rock country. It has that feel to it. If you look at the Eagles, something like that. It's got that country rock feel, eighth notes. Now, another way to subdivide your 4/4 is with 16th notes. And that is being able to say and play, like I talked about in the video earlier, I'm posting it in the description box, 1E and a 2E and a. And that is fast. It is fast. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E. And really, you don't really find people playing like this. What you do find is you find the swing eighth, where you're going 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. And this gives everyone who's listening this instant head bob, like... Now this comes from the blues. And when you do this, there's an instant like somber-ish feel to it. And so swing eighths kind of remind everyone of the blues. So you can take a blues rhythm that boom, 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 boom. This is still in 4/4. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Now, so that's a quick discussion, hopefully, on some ideas in 4/4, but how to practice. Now, what I'm going to show you right now is really going to help out in your odd time signatures. You don't want to just write a song right now or practice your time signatures with just one chord per 4 beats. That is what I think is really, stifling people, trying to keep track of the count they're on and hold steady on these 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, right now, 4 counts are easy, but when we get to odd times, it's harder to count out more extended times. So what you want to do is you want to start dividing these counts with your left hand by changing chords, okay? You want to try to change your chords in between your counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The idea is now you can kind of take smaller steps mentally, and the rhythm starts to kind of fall down because your left hand is now paying attention to the exact beat and where to change. And instead of going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, when you count like that, you're really focusing on everything in your right hand, or your strumming hand if you play a lefty. And the idea is it's a combination of both hands working to understand rhythm. And so being able to divide your rhythms in your left hand, is going to keep your brain really on track to pay attention to those notes with a little bit more, like it's just going to pay attention a little bit more. It's going to know that it has an extra mission. And at the same time, there's going to be more music being played. If you're just playing straight chords, which a lot of stuff does this, I'm not trying to make fun of this, but usually there's vocals, there's other instruments creating melody. But if you're practicing, you want to be subdividing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where this hand is now dividing the measures up. And there it was with 2. Let's get crazy with it. Now you don't have to do this, but let's do 3 and 1 counts. What? It's still going to be 4/4. You're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. But now I'm going to change this guy after the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That exercise really gets both hands and the brain really working together on trying to keep track of this rhythm. So I would suggest you just practice your 4/4 rhythms like that. Either quarter notes, realize quarter notes are somber. Eighth notes give you that kind of like country feel. The swing eighths, which is the blues rhythm, 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. It gives you the head bob kind of thing. And once you feel it, see if you can change whatever chords you're doing. Now I'm just playing G, C, and D for this just to keep it very simple, or actually G, C at 9, and D. And you want to practice then changing the chords in between those beats somewhere. So now let's move into the odd time signatures. Now that we have a couple things in place. Number 1, if we can associate the time signature with a feel, that helps. And number 2, if we can change our chords inside the time signature, it really helps keep track of it, which it sounds daunting, but it is not. Let's start with 3/4, okay, for odd timing. 3/4 is considered, it's a waltz. It's 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and there's plenty of waltzes out there by some really great guitar players that really are very intricate. But nonetheless, when you think waltz, it's 3/4, and so right now it's gonna be 1 2 3. Now a standard strum pattern for a waltz is 1 2 a 3, 1 2 a 3, 1 2 a 3, 1 2 a 3. In this video, I'm going to stay away from the down-up discussion because that's not rhythm, that's just direction of strum that's controlled by the rhythm. So I'm going to be counting here, but you kind of want to feel it. Your downbeats are your numbers. 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Now here is, if I just play the beats, the quarter notes, the numbers, you're going to hear that the waltz sounds very stale. We don't want a stale waltz. We want a dynamic waltz, and the most common waltz strum is going to be 1 2 a 3, 1 2 a 3, 1 2 a 3. There it is right there. So 1 2 a 3, 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 1 2 a 3. Now, what do I associate waltzes with? Well, if it's a slow waltz and it's on acoustic, excuse me, I have something in my eye. It's going to associate in my mind with something that's like bittersweet, sad, has a lot of emotion. Waltzes have a lot of emotion. And so if you have a song that has a lot of emotion to it, lyrics that have emotion, you might want to consider writing a waltz to it, the 3/4 time signature. Now, let's just talk about it. You're going to keep that strum. You're just going to practice it. But let's say we're going to change our chords here, okay? And that's going to be hard. But let's change on the 3. 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 a 3, 1 2 a 3, 1 2 a 3. I messed up there. Let's take our waltz and now change our placement of the chord on a different beat. And so I'm gonna replace my chord on the 3. I'm gonna count 1 2 a 3, but on the 3 I'm gonna change chord, and I'm just gonna be going from G to C to D and back. And the idea is trying to keep track of that is really gonna help both hands work together. And so check this out: 1 2 a 3, 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 1 2 a 3. So being able to change your chords in between your count really makes you stick the rhythm or feel it. And so a waltz is in 3. And the idea is you definitely want to practice it to feel it. A lot of songs are in waltzes. If you listen to, is it She Said by the Beatles? I think that's the name of it. There's a great part in the bridge where it goes from 4/4 to a waltz to 3/4, and it's disorienting. But they get really, like, they do a really good job of it. And it's that part, when I was a boy, everything was right, and you can hear they snap into 3/4. So it's a good study to check out. And so that's the 3/4 time. Let's talk about some other times. 5/4. 5/4 to me, when I was studying 5/4 a long time ago, my brain did not like it. And you have this count of 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. There's not a lot of songs that are in 5/4 for a reason. Just kidding. Take 5 is a song that's in 5/4. Obviously, Take 5. And there's some other songs in 5/4, but I want to show you how to think about it. Same thing. You're going to count 5 here. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Now the strum I'm doing here is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. 1 and 2 and 3. And it's really hard to even count it. You just got to take advantage of your upstroke. But what I want to say is, you usually don't find songs in 5/4 that have one chord for the 5 beats, because it's just, things fall apart there. The gravity is kind of like, it's odd, and if you have one chord, it kind of makes the chords have no meaning. So what you want to try and do here now, and really feel the rhythm and make it interesting, is picking whatever adds up to 5 and changing your chords, like 2 plus 3. Okay, so now I'm going to take my G chord and hit it for 2 beats, and then my C add 9 for 3 beats. 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 Now, it's an odd time, but practicing it really, really helps if you can take these odd times and divide them into smaller measures. A, your brain is keeping track of them. B, the ear hears these chord changes and doesn't realize it's an odd time until that very last measure where it kind of almost skips and goes back, and it creates an interesting flow. So this whole lesson really is about learning your odd time signatures by changing your chords that you're playing in between them. And so let's try another one. I don't know how successful this will be, but 4 plus 1 equals 5. So let's try this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. You can see it sounds more palatable, or there's something happening, instead of taking just a 5 count, like just a 5 count, and making it something different. All right, now another one we're going to do here is a count that you're going to find a lot called a 6/8. And this here is really, it's like, well, 3/4 plus 3/4 is 6/8, right? And it's like, oh yeah, okay. Or can you do it like that? Is that how fractions work? And the idea is it's just a faster waltz, and it flows quicker. And the most common song that you're going to find is House of the Rising Sun. And the idea, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so all I'm doing there is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, kind of moving my hand back and forth, but it's a fast waltz. I just want to talk to you about that. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want arpeggio, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're probably going to say, isn't that in 3/4? Well, the whole chord here is taking place over a 6 count, and it's fast. And 6/8 means the 8th note. I don't want to talk about that stuff too much, but the 8th note is getting the count, the faster note is getting the count, and the whole chord exists over the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6/8 move fast, and if you want to practice a 6/8, practice House of the Rising Sun. It is in 6/8. Now, that's all I'm going to say about 6/8 because I want to get a lot of stuff in there. And also, it's hard to move chords in 6/8 only because it moves fast. So House of the Rising Sun, if you can play House of the Rising Sun, you got 6/8 down. Now, let's talk about a 7 count known as 7/4, okay? There's plenty of songs that are in 7, all right? And the way you're going to practice this right now, it's going to sound so weird. I'm going to play it with a G, C, and D, is I'm going to play a G chord for a 7 count to a C chord for a 7 count. And you're going to see that without changing your chords and holding them, it's like, okay, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you write a song like that, it's like, well, why are you even writing a song like that? Maybe because the lyrics count out in 7. It's very benign sounding when you play it just with one chord. It can sneak under the table, and it's like I said, well, why are we playing something in 7/4 or in 7 count if we're not really accenting anything? So what do? Let's see what adds up to 7. How about 4 plus 3? And so now 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. How about 3 plus 4? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. I didn't skip there. I was just kind of closing my eyes. But you can hear it when you're practicing your chords, your odd time signatures, by changing your chords in between. It helps out. Let's just do one more in 7/4 because I screwed up. How about 5 and 2? Woo! Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1. Now that sounds interesting. It's like, whoa, where is that? Where's that beat? And you're really, capturing this movement of 5 and 2. And it makes the ear listen. So when you're practicing your odd time signatures, divide them. Now you can do this with 9/4, right? You can do this with 10/4. Let's just do it with 10/4. I mean, 9/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm gonna get 10/4 because I can do an example of everything. But 10/4 is pretty cool. What adds up to 10? That's not, you can do 5 and 5, but let's try 6 and 4. And then I'll show you something here. Okay, so let's try 6 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so okay, but really, what I find sometimes, some things I've played are in 10, and so honestly, you can do a group of 4. Plus 2 groups of 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can do, what was one a 6 plus 2 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 1, 2. The ability to divide your counting by your chords really helps you understand and play odd time signatures. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about is 11/4. Now, you're probably like, what? And you can do 13, you can do 17, whatever. But 11/4 is really interesting. It actually sounds quite comfortable. Check this out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Right? You're like, what? Well, here's an 11 count. If you're going to write a song based on one chord for 11 beats, come on now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3. Why would you do that? There's no reason. It starts to lose its gravity. But if you subdivide, you have this now 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11. I feel like I'm in the ending of the movie Clue. 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. Somebody hopefully gets that reference. But the idea is, when you're playing in 11, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2 is 11. And so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Excuse me, I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2. Interesting. This hand, you're probably like, Ian, what's this hand doing? Well, if you remember back in the waltz, I was saying how a waltz usually is 1, 2, a 3. So here I have like 3 mini waltzes plus a 2 count. So my hand's going 1, 2, a 3, 1, 2, a 3, 1, 2, a 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, a 3, 1, 2, a 3, 1, 2, a 3, 1, 2. All right, so this has been a very brief or maybe long or over-exaggerated video on how to kind of understand and listen to and practice playing odd time signatures. What's the moral to the story? Pick a number and play some chords while counting with it. And if you can, subdivide it by picking 2 numbers that add that number. If you're in 4/4, 4/4 is very common. You can play 1 chord for 4 beats. It's fine. It's totally fine. But if you want to practice it, 2 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3/4 really, you can change chords, but really 3/4 is just about feeling the waltz. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Ba, 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 ba. These are all downs. Okay? 5/4. You can sit, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. But the awkwardness of getting to 5 once you get over 4 is like, where's that 5? So add things together. 3 plus 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Right? 6/8. 6/8 is owned by House of the Rising Sun or anything that's like a fast waltz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And really, you find it with arpeggios. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, like I said, practice House of the Rising Sun, and you can feel it. If you're in 7, do 5 plus 2 or 4 plus 3. If you're in 9, heck, man, 5 plus 4 or 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 and change your chords, and it's going to help you keep track of it. And just like I showed you with the 11 count, you get more chord changes in, the ear likes to hear it. I'll stop talking, but you want to practice this stuff. Speaking of practicing, if you like this, on my Patreon account, I'll have a ton of practice videos and chord progressions that are not just G, C, and D, maybe some riffs in there too, where we get to practice odd time signatures and thinking about time signatures and how to feel them. You know, a little warning here. 90% of the songs that we listen to are in 4/4, but a lot of people always ask, like, how do I think about odd time signatures? How do I play time signatures? And so I just wanted to show you what I think is the easiest way to feel them. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys soon on Tuesday with another StichMethod video. Take care. Bye-bye.